Hello everyone, it's Justine. In today's video, I'm going to be finishing 3 stitch cards that I have made. So if you're new to the stitching on cards world, if you will, welcome. And I know that I love stitching on cards, so you might too. It's really fun to stitch on cards, although I prefer the stitching more than the assembly of them after, just because it's a little bit monotonous, but it still makes some really beautiful cards, so it's totally worth it. So all I did was put a piece of purple paper on the front of my card, and now I'm going to put some glue on the back of my stitched piece and glue it on to my card base or card front. Really, when I add glue to the back of cards that have stitching on them, I just kind of focus on some of the main areas where there are threads, so the glue has a chance to kind of stick on there and then stick to the paper. And then at the end here, I'll go around the edge and some of the larger areas where there is paper available for some glue, like so. I know that this liquid glue really sticks nicely, so I don't have to worry about it coming off in the future. I really shouldn't complain about finishing off the stitched cards because it's really fun to see the finished project. So anyway, I chose a number of different rhinestones to add to this project. I chose purple, magenta, and a clear. And I used all gemstones this time, no pearls, no flat metallic gems, just the gemstones. And I love how that turned out. This could be really anything at this point. It could be Mother's Day, birthday, thank you, thinking of you, cheerful hello. It could be a landscape card or a portrait. So really either way, it would work. So love that. Now, if you've noticed, I have some slimline card bases over here, and you guessed it, I'm making some slimline cards. So I'm using this Thanks die that is from Spellbinders, and it is an old one, but it is a good one. I've made a number of thank you cards with this die, and I really like it, so I keep making more. And it's a really easy one to stitch. So if you're new to stitching, I would recommend something like this because you're just stitching kind of as you go. Especially with this one, I used a variegated thread of just pink. So it's all one thread, but it's easier than this because this you have to kind of hide your threads as you go from each section. So if you're new to stitching, I would recommend something like this, or the stitched alphabet dies if you're interested in trying out stitching, because sometimes it can get a little complicated. Even with something like this, I won't show you the front because this is going to be a different video, but this can be rather complicated because of all of the threads and switching colors. So again, maybe, I don't know, maybe different people's brains work better with that instead, but in my opinion, I would consider the Thanks die to be more of a beginner stitching die. This is more intermediate, but that's just my personal opinion. So now that I have that on my card, I am going to get my other one ready as well. I think I'm using the same pink on both of these. Yes, so it doesn't matter which one goes on which. Just move my glue over. I really should be using my magnet for that needle because I have lost that before. I just cut my slimline cards down to the standard slimline size, which is 8.5 by 3.5, but the thanks die, I think, on a full slimline card is a little long, so I prefer to kind of cut it down. I don't think that this is technically a mini slimline. I could be wrong. I don't have the dimensions in my head for those. I think a mini slimline is, I'm pretty sure 3.25 by, I think 6.25. So it's just a bit smaller, but not by much of this one. So I'm just gonna grab my paper trimmer and cut off the white. That tells you how strong the magnet is. My goodness, I'm gonna have to mute that part. That was super loud. Okay. Anyway, going to cut off the white areas of my card base and go from there. I don't love this paper trimmer because sometimes it can cut things. It just doesn't cut straight all the time for longer paper, but it is a very strong and sharp blade. So if I need to cut through, 2 layers of cardstock here, it's going to cut. So I feel like I have a lot of paper cutters, but they all kind of do different things. But I think my all-time favorite paper trimmer is the mini trimmer from Tim Holtz. It's just teeny, and when I am working with small stamped images or something, stamped sentiments on cards, it's just a really easy little trimmer. So I think that's my favorite, but I also have a really big trimmer that cuts 12 by 12 paper, and that one cuts straight, and I really just feel like I can't go wrong with that one. And that was what I was using to make a lot of my card bases with. And to make extra card bases, I was just buying 120-pound cardstock online and cutting it down. And my sweet husband was helping me by cutting and scoring those out for me. But I went to go buy another ream of that paper. And just out of curiosity, I looked up card bases, A2 card bases. And wouldn't you know that for the same amount of card bases, so if it was 100 pieces of paper, 120 pounds was $16 and something. And that still meant that I would have to sit there and cut and score and fold and push down with that scoring tool 100 times. $16, right? I looked up how much card bases would be, 100 card bases, and it was $14. And I clicked so darn fast, it was not even funny, because not only did I save $2, which that adds up, $2 adds up to, I don't know, $2 is almost the price of a whole gem pack. I think these are $3.99, so why not? Anyway, it also meant that I did not have to spend a lot of time cutting and folding and cutting and folding, or have my sweet husband do that for me, because it is all done. Plus, with those, I think they are cut by big machines, so I'm sure that they'll be straight. I hope. I'll let you know if they're not, but I just have a feeling that it's the way to go. And I make a ton of cards, especially with the card kits of the month. I really do need a lot of card bases. And for this month of August, I have made 44 cards with the card kit of the month, the butterfly sparkles, and I also have the Santa Lane card kit to work with and another full Christmas collection to work with. So I have a feeling that it's going to be a busy month, we'll just say. So I need the card bases today. But for today, I will just focus on my finished stitched cards. just to note, I know these are very purple, pinky, girly, but you could make thanks cards with more either neutral colors or really any color, and this can be really pretty. I especially like this design because it's using the white and the black, and most people have white and black paper, and I took a variegated thread through this. Now you could do that with green, with blue, with yellow, purple, anything, and have the same outcome. Just change the background paper and you're good to go. You don't even have to add the embellished pearls or gemstones. You can just leave it as it is with just the stitching, and it's really a wow factor. So just to note, you know. Anyway, if you've liked this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. I do have a whole playlist on my channel for stitching cards, so if you're interested in seeing more stitched cards from me, go ahead and check out that playlist. I will try to link that at the end of this video here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a really great day. Bye!